ॐ ज्ञानानन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, dear devotees. My apologies again, and welcome to our daily morning reading of Srimad Bhagavatam. Thank you for joining in. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Before we begin our today's reading of Srimad Bhagavatam, let us first offer our most humble obeisances unto our own beloved spiritual masters, His loving divine grace, Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, who has mercifully given us this divine knowledge of Srimad Bhagavatam in a form that we can easily understand and relish. And we also beg for blessings from all the acharyas in the Gaudiya Vaishnava line so that we may speak here and remember these pastimes with purity and devotion. Is my voice low for everyone? My volume?
No, it's very clear, Mataji. Thank you.
Okay, someone was messaging. Okay. No worries. So by their mercy, our gurus in our parampara, by their mercy alone, they have bestowed this Bhagavatam on us, and by just by the words of Srimad Bhagavatam, bhakti can enter in our hearts and water our bhakti lata. So I pray that for the next half an hour or hour, it becomes an offering of service at the lotus feet of Shri Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra, and that whatever I say may be pleasing to Shri Guru Gauranga and Shri Shri Radha Krishna. And also let me offer respects to all the Vaishnavas. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. So let's utilize our Saturday morning the best way we can by hearing Harikatha. Vishnu Puran says, what is the biggest loss? It says, Sahani tanmahachidram samoha sacha vibhrama yanmuhurtam kshanam vapi vasudeva na chintayet. The moment in which we don't do Vasudevam na chintayet. What is the greatest loss? The hani. What is the greatest illusion? Moha. And what is the greatest brahma, vibhrama, the greatest anomaly, the greatest abnormality in human life? It is yan muhurtam kshanam vapi vasudevam na chintayet. The moment in which there is no chintan, no remembrance of Vasudev, it is a lost moment, it is a missed moment, and that is the greatest failure we can do to our own life. Srila Prabhupada said in one lecture that, we say God is great, but we don't know how great God really is. If you want to know, then come to Srimad Bhagavatam. So at any given time, we have two choices, Krishna and Maya. So if we turn away from Krishna, then we are in the grip of Maya. illusion, moha, mahamoha, mahaviprama. So illusion means then we will commit mistakes with our imperfect senses and our cheating propensity. So by doing that, we cause our own great loss, and we throw ourselves in the greatest danger a human can go in, which is forgetfulness of Krishna. In Srimad Bhagavad Gita 1857, Krishna is instructing to us. He says, Chetasa sarva karmani mayi sannasya matpara buddhi yogam upashritya machittaha satatam bhava. So satatam, always. So in all activities you do, just depend on me and always work under my protection. So in such Buddhi Yoga, and Srila Prabhupada translates Buddhi Yoga as Bhakti Yoga in various places in Bhagavad Gita. So Srila Prabhupada says, in such Buddhi Yoga, in devotional service, always be fully conscious of me at all times. But unfortunately, sometimes we choose to depend on our own MBA, our own mind, intelligence, and our ego in executing our life. And we end up making a blunder out of our life. And then at the end of life, we regret that, why did I waste my time away from Srimad Bhagavatam? Why did I not depend on Krishna? And why did I not allow myself to receive the mercy of Krishna? But in the pastime that we are reading, Mother Yaśodā is teaching us the way to receive the mercy of Krishna, the way to remember Krishna all the time. What does she do? Yani yani ha gitani tadvala charitani cha Dadhi nirmanthane kale smaranti tanyagayata. Dadhi nirmanthane kale. While she is doing her housework, while she is doing her activity, she is remembering Krishna's activity. While she is doing her activity, she is remembering Krishna's activity. Tad bala charitani cha. So she is singing her heart out because of remembrance of Krishna, Krishna's Leela. Krishna's Leela is giving her immense pleasure. So the activity of churning the butter is no burden for her. And we can also, while we are doing our all our activities, we can remember the verses. We can sing the kirtans and bhajans and meditate on the poems we heard in the Bhagavatam class, the instructions of Srimad Bhagavatam. And when we meet devotees, we can talk to each other about Krishna. And that is the way we always remember the Lord. And because, in case of Mother Yaśodā, because she is pleased doing the service for Krishna, then Krishna also does something in reciprocation to increase her pleasure. And what is that? That is Damodar Leela. The whole Damodar pastime began because, Krishna was sitting on top of a big wooden grinding mortar, and then he was stealing butter, and he was stealing butter from the high hanging pots, and then he was feeding it to the monkeys. He is known as Makhan Chor, the butter thief. But why does he steal? He's the owner of everything. What is the need for him to steal? Well, first of all, if he owns everything, then he's not stealing anything. He's doing it. He's becoming the thief to give pleasure to his devotee Mother Yaśodā. So whenever Krishna would steal butter from, other gopis' houses, the gopis would come and complain to Mother Yaśodā. They would say that, see, now when we have come to lodge our complaints to you, they will tell Mother Yaśodā, now this thief Krishna is staring at the floor as if he's completely innocent. But we know very well that in his mind, he is planning and plotting as to when and how next he's going to steal our butter. But this this conversation between the neighborly gopis and Mother Yasoda, it would take place every day, because gopis just wanted an excuse to come and have darshan of Krishna and talk about Krishna and Krishna's activities. So now, we know that butter is very dear to Krishna. And when our hearts also become soft and sweet and white like butter, by churning through the process of our sadhana, of our bhakti, we pray to Damodar that, he also steals our heart. So in this Damodar Leela, Krishna tells us that he is very easy to obtain. Krishna is mercifully allowing us, it's his mercy that we relish his childhood pastimes, and we are reading Canto 10, the Summum Bonum, Chapter 9. Mother Yasoda binds Lord Kṛṣṇa. It is Krishna's mercy that we are here. And we are going to read verse 10, 9, 18 today. Let's go to that verse. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudiraye nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya Bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktirbhavati naishviki. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. 10, 9, 18. Swamatu svinnagatraya. विश्रस्तकबरस्रजः दृष्ट्वा परिश्रमं कृष्णः कृपयासीत् स्वबन्धने. We'll look at the word to word. Swamatuhu, of his own mother, Krishna's mother, Yasoda Devi. Svinnagatrayaha, when Krishna saw his mother perspiring all over because of unnecessary labor. Vishrasta were falling down. From where? Kabara, from her hair. What was falling down? Srajaha, of whom? The flowers. Drishtva, by seeing the condition of his mother, Parishramam, he could understand that she was now overworked and feeling fatigued. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krupaya, by his causeless mercy upon his devotee and mother. Asita, agreed, Swabandhane, in binding him. Translation by Krishna Kripamurti, His Loving Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Because of Mother Yashoda's hard labor, her whole body became covered with perspiration, and the flowers and comb were falling from her hair. When child Krishna saw his mother thus fatigued, he became merciful to her and agreed to be bound. Would anyone like to read the purport, please?
I can read, Mataji.
Oh, please, Mataji.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada. When Mother Yasoda and the other ladies finally saw that Krishna, although decorated with many bangles and other jeweled ornaments, could not be bound with all the ropes available in the house, they decided that Krishna was so fortunate that he could not be bound by any material condition. Thus they gave up the idea of binding him. But in competition between Krishna and his devotee, Krishna sometimes agrees to be defeated. Thus, Krishna's internal energy, Yog Maya, was brought to work, and Krishna agreed to be bound by Mother Yasoda. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. So, this purport is one of Srila Prabhupada's most intimate windows into Krishna's heart. And this purport truly shows us how deeply Srila Prabhupada knows the Lord. and not just intellectually, but personally through his own realization and love. Purport is nice and small, but this purport is extraordinary because it reveals to us what only a pure devotee can know, and that is Krishna's heart. Prabhupada is not just describing an incident that this happened and that happened. He's entering into Lord's emotion, the tender moment when the Supreme Controller allows himself, Asita, to be controlled by love. So Prabhupada explains that although all the ropes in the house, they were too short to bind Krishna. But when he saw his mother's exhaustion and affection, he agreed to be defeated. So this word, asita swabandhane, that he agreed to be bound. Radha Govind Goswami Maharaj, he was saying very sweetly in his class that ऐसा नहीं है कि माता यशोदा ने उसे बांध दिया, पर वो बंध गया. So Prabhupada's this statement that Krishna sometimes agrees to be defeated. In the purport, Prabhupada says that Krishna sometimes agrees to be defeated. So this is not just philosophy, it is the realization of a pure lover of God. Only one who knows, only who has already conquered Krishna's heart with their service, they can understand the sweetness of Krishna, and they can understand that why Almighty becomes subordinate to his devotees' love. Srila Prabhupada knew Krishna's heart because he lived in complete harmony with it. He knew Krishna's desire because he was living his life according to Krishna's desire. His life was a practical demonstration of this very purport. Krishna is conquered not by your power or your knowledge or your wealth or your austerity, but by your bhakti, by your pure selfless devotion. So just like Krishna allowed himself to be bound by Mother Yashoda's love, he allowed himself to be bound by Prabhupada's devotion also. And that is why through Prabhupada, Krishna became bound to go to every town and village of the world. So when Prabhupada writes that Krishna sometimes agrees to be defeated, we can feel that he is speaking from his own personal experience. He had defeated Krishna with his love. And Krishna joyfully allowed himself to be carried in Prabhupada's heart across the oceans. And this little purport is a glimpse into the mystery of divine affection between Bhakt and Bhagwan. In front of love, the infinite becomes finite and the unconquerable becomes conquered. The Swarat, the supremely self-ruling, supremely independent person becomes bound. That is all because of love. So Srila Prabhupada could write this because he knew that this is Krishna's nature, to be bound by love and not by logic. So through this purport and through all his purport, Srila Prabhupada is not just giving us commentary on what happened, but he is inviting us also into the same relationship that where one day, by his mercy, we too may endeavor to bind Krishna in our hearts, just like Mother Yashoda did. So, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, who opened this treasure chest of Krishna's heart in front of us and showed us that the Supreme Lord, who is infinite and all powerful, still he can be conquered by simplicity of our heart, of our love. And there is an interesting choice of words Prabhupada makes here, in competition between Krishna and his devotee. So, this term that Srila Prabhupada uses is the competition. So, we may think that what competition between the two people who love each other. But that's what it is. That's what Damodar Lila is. It reveals, many interesting and unique points. It highlights that the great devotion of Mother Yashoda and her determination to bind Krishna. So mostly in most of Krishna's leelas, generally there is a fight between good and evil. The Lord protects the saintly devotees, paritranaya sadhanam, and he destroys the evil forces, vinashaya dishkritam. So in most of his leelas, this is what is going on. But in this leela, in Damodar leela, there is no good and evil. So Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that this leela is also a transcendental competition between the Lord's various qualities, his various potencies, his shaktis. So, as we know, our Supreme Lord has innumerable transcendental qualities and powers, shaktis. So there is, he has Achintya Shakti, inconceivable power, which is beyond logic, which makes the impossible things occur. He has Vibhuti Shakti, his infinite nature by which he pervades everywhere and he is unlimited. Then there is Satya Sankalpa Shakti. Whatever the Lord desires is always right. And there is Satya Kama Shakti. Whatever he wills, it will happen without any obstruction. So during Damodar Leela, when Mother Yaśodā tried to bind Krishna, all these Shaktis of the Lord, they came into play. So when the initial rope was not enough to tie the Lord, and it was short by 2 fingers, Mother Yaśodā was determined and she had rope to bind him. But still the rope was short by 2 fingers. So if we see, according to logic, when the first rope is 2 fingers short, if we attach more rope, then the gap should be reduced and the boy should be bound. But instead, the 2 fingers shortage, it continues. And another interesting observation is that the Lord's waist around which the rope is to be tied, the waist never increased in size. The gap never reduced and the waist never increased. Waist also remained the same, but the shortage also continued to be the same. So all this happened because of Lord's Achintya Shakti, which defies all the logic. And because the Lord is absolute truth, whatever he wills is always perfect. परम सत्य अगर कुछ संकल्प करता है, अगर वो संकल्प करता है कि नहीं बंधना है, तो नहीं बंधना ही सत्य है. So our will, in our case, if we desire, we desire many things in life, and after some time, maybe a few years later, we laugh at our old desires. We regret that, our desire was wrong and we should have desired differently. But in the case of Lord, whatever he desires, whatever he wills is eternally correct, and he never regrets or feels guilty. So he never has to reverse his plans. And this quality is called Satya Sankalpa Shakti. So Krishna is Satya Sankalpa, one whose desires are always true. And also in our life, even if we desire correct things, sometimes there are a lot of obstructions in making them happen. So sometimes they don't materialize, right? But in case of Krishna, all his desires always become reality and nothing can obstruct them. So Satya Sankalpa Shakti, when all the Shaktis are in competition, Satya Sankalpa Shakti says, no, Krishna should not be bound. He cannot be bound. He is Swarata. He is supremely independent. This is what Satya Sankalpa Shakti says. Then, that an infinite object cannot be bound by a finite object like a rope. So Krishna has a eternal spiritual form which is made of is Satchit Anand, which is made of knowledge, bliss, and it is infinite in character. So if the rope binds him, then his infinite nature, his vibhuti shakti, his vibhutva will be compromised. So Lord's vibhutva shakti also agreed with Satya Sankalpa Shakti. She also gave the opinion that Lord should not be bound. And like this, all these prominent Shaktis of the Lord decided that he should not be bound. So, in spite of attaching many ropes, Mother Yaśodā could not bind Lord Krishna. So, she is thinking how illogical this is. Why can't I bind my Lala? But she never gives up her endeavor and she keeps on trying very hard. The gopis and children from neighboring houses, they came and they saw this Leela going on and they started laughing. They started smiling. In our previous words, it confirms, our previous words confirms thus Mother Yaśodā joined whatever ropes were available in the household, but still she failed in her attempt to bind Krishna. Mother Yaśodá's friends, the elderly gopis in the neighborhood, were smiling and enjoying the fun. So all these prominent Shaktis of Krishna, they were operating unfavorable to Mother Yaśodā. Then how was she able to bind him? So that the answer is our today's verse. So Lord's prominent Shaktis, they were all against binding Krishna. They were against Mother Yaśoda's desire to bind Krishna. However, there was one Shakti, one potency of Krishna, which was on the side of Mother Yaśodā, and that is Lord's Kripa Shakti, Lord's mercy. When Mother Yaśodā was endeavoring to bind Krishna, his various Shaktis, they all ganged up and they decided that Lord should not be bound. Because he is Ajita, he is undefeated. He has if he gets bound, then his undefeated status it will be compromised. Then, and the Shaktis, they want to maintain it. But seeing the unwavering determination of Mother Yaśodā, her pure love, Kripa Shakti within the Lord got invoked. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that between the obstinacy of devotee and the obstinacy of Lord, only the devotee's obstinacy means zid. भगवान की जिद और भक्त की जिद के बीच में भक्त की जिद ही जीतती है. So the Lord's Kripa Shakti is called Chakravartini, the most shining queen of all other Shaktis of the Lord. So she appeared and there was a transcendental argument between Lord's Kripa Shakti and other Shaktis like Vibhutva Shakti, Satya Sankalpa Shakti, Satya Karma Shakti, Achintya Shakti. And each of them, they were giving their justification for not allowing to bind Krishna. But Kripa Shakti finally wins the argument and convinces all other Shaktis. So Kripa Shakti melts Krishna's heart like fresh butter, and all other Shaktis, they become subordinate to Kripa Shakti. So Kripa Shakti gives verdict that Mother Yaśodā will be victorious. And when this verdict came, then Lord allowed himself to be bound by Mother Yaśodā. Swamatu svinna gatraya vishrasta kaparasrajaha दृष्ट्वा परिश्रमं कृष्णः कृपयासि स्वबन्धने. Because of Mother Yaśodá's hard labor, her whole body became covered with perspiration and the flowers and comb were falling from her hair. When child Krishna saw his mother thus fatigued, he became merciful to her and agreed to be bound. So, Srila Prabhupada translates Kripaya as by his causeless mercy, by his causeless mercy upon his devotee and mother. So, Mother Yaśodá's endeavor, it was driven by her endeavor from her side, it was driven by Lord's Bhakti Shakti, and Bhakti Shakti invokes Lord's Kripa Shakti, and Kripa Shakti made all other Shaktis to take a back seat so that the devotee, Mother Yaśodā, is glorified to keep Krishna's promise, Name Bhakta Pranashyati. So in Damodar Leela, all the qualities of the Lord that are mentioned in the Upanishads, they were temporarily compromised in favor of Lord's causeless mercy towards Mother Yaśodā. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also explains that, the shortage of two fingers represent, as we hear again and again, the two finger shortage represent devotee's effort and Lord's mercy in binding the Lord. So the word parishramam in our verse, it represents a devotee's endeavor, the perseverance which is born from the strength of devotee's bhakti. And the word kripaya represents Lord's mercy, which arises by seeing that endeavor of devotee. So this Damodar Leela is special because, the Lord completely demonstrates by his personal example in practice that when parishram and krupa, when endeavor and mercy both are present, he gets bound with love. And what can love not do? Love can make Krishna dance for a handful of buttermilk. Raskanji says, Shesha Ganesha Mahesha Dinesha Suresha Hujahi Nirantar Gave Jahi Anadi Ananta Khanda Cheda Bheda Subheda Batave नारद से सुख व्यास रचे पशी हारे तो पूरी पार न पावे ताही अहिर की छोहरिया छछिया भर छाछ पे नाच नचावे. Krishna, whose glories are always Shesha, Balramji, Krishna's first expansion. Who can know Krishna better than him? Ganesha, Lord Ganesha, the transcriber of all the scriptures. Mahesha, Lord Shiva, Dinesha, Suresha, King of demigods, Indra. They all always sing glories of Krishna. And what do they tell about Krishna? They say, Jahi Anadi Ananta Khanda Ached Abheda Subheda Batave. They all say that Krishna is Anadi. He has no beginning. Ananta, he has no end. He is Akhanda, he is Ached, Abheda, Subheda. He is truly mysterious. Nobody can know him. And that's what all these personalities say. नारद से सुख व्यास रहे पछी हारे तहु पूनी पार न पावे. They all say that nobody, even great sages, Narad Muni, Sukdev Goswami, Vyasdev, the author of all the scriptures, and who is also an expansion of Krishna, he also cannot gauge Krishna. Then how can we know him? But tahi ahira ki chohariya chachiya bhar chach pe nash nachave. That's when Krishna dances as the Ahir ki Chohariya Gopi asks him to dance just for Chachiya Bharchar, just for a handful of buttermilk. So Srila Bilvamangal Thakur, who is a great devotee of the Lord, he has written a very glorious work called Krishna Karanamrita. In that he glorifies different leelas of the Lord. And there he specifically glorifies this Damodar Leela. I forgot the verse, but in that verse he says that if there is anyone who is tired, fatigued, after wandering in the forests of the Vedas, they should listen to this advice. If they are tired of looking for absolute truth in the Vedas, then they should look for the meaning of all the Vedas and Upanishads in the house of gopis, in the houses of gopis, where the ultimate essence of all the Upanishads, the absolute truth, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is bound to the mortar in his form as Narayan, as Damodar. And there is another verse, Drishtva. in the verse. So Drishtva, and particularly Mother Yaśodā, she is the chief elderly gopis. And she's the foremost among all the Vatsalya Ras devotees who serve Krishna in Vatsalya Ras, who serve Krishna as his loving mother. And what's happening in her house? Drishtva parishramam Krishna kripayasit svabandhane. So Drishtva, Yashoda's endeavor is not hidden from Krishna. Krishna sees with his own eyes. In Brahma Samhita, Krishna's eyes are compared with blooming lotus petals. Veno kvanantamara vindadalaya taksham. And Vallabhacharya, he says, Nayanam madhuram hasitam madhuram. He says, sweet eyes of our sweet Lord. And, his eyes are also full of compassion to his pure devotees who surrender to him. So Krishna wears the glasses of compassion. He looks at everyone through compassion. In Bhagavad Gita 11.19, Arjun, when he saw the Virat rope, he says that Anadi Madhyantam Anantaviryam Anantabahum Shashi Surya Netram. Arjun says that, oh Krishna, your eyes are like Shashi, Surya Netram. Your eyes are like sun and moon. So just like how the sun brightens up the day, Krishna's powerful sun-like eyes, they brighten everyone's life. And just like the moon is very cooling and very pleasing, Krishna's eyes are also moon-like, which are very soothing and very pleasing to admire. So Krishna's eyes are the source of all the opulence that exists. Because by his merciful glance only, his merciful glance that he bestows upon us, that is how we get inspiration to perform all our activities. He is Upadrashta, the ultimate seer, and by his drashti only, by his glance only, he has created all the universes. So how powerful Krishna's drashti can be. But with those same powerful eyes, Krishna Drishtva, he's seeing everything that we are doing, everything that is happening to us. With his lotus eyes, he casts a soothing glance upon his devotee, Mother Yaśodā, and that is what gives her unlimited strength and enthusiasm to keep going in her will, that today I want to bind him. And in this particular verse, what does Krishna Drashtva, what does he see? Drashtva Parishramam. Whose Parishramam? Mother Yashoda's Parishramam. So first thing first, first verse of this chapter, where this beautiful pastime of Yaśodā Damodar started. Ekada grihadashrisu Yaśodananda Gehini Karmantaraniyuktasu Nirmamantha Swayam Dadi. Mother Yaśodā was Nanda Gehini. She was the queen of Nanda Maharaj. She was in a prestigious position where she could have ordered her maid servants to stop all other works they were engaged in, and to do this work of churning the yogurt first for her. Or she could have asked her servants, her maids, to do the churning after they have finished the work they are doing. But she did not think that way. That I'm the queen of the house, so let me use my servants to accomplish what I want to do. No, that would have been aham, ego. But no, nirmamantha swayam dati. She preferred to do the churning personally, swayam. And this shows her humility, her strong humility, and her intense eagerness in serving Krishna herself. So with unassuming nature, not wanting to wait for others to come and do what she wants to do, the churning. She engaged herself not forcefully, affectionately in working for Krishna. So this gives Mother Yashoda's parishram it first puts a question in front of us. There is a point of introspection, that am I immersed in aham, ego, or am I engaged swayam in Krishna's work? Am I eager to serve Krishna, or am I keen to be seen when I serve Krishna? So that's one point. So that despite of being the queen, Mother Yaśodā was engaged herself in working for Krishna. And then we see that Mother Yaśodā has 900,000 cows, out of which 9 were treated specially. They were fed Padmagandha grass, which was so flavorful that it will automatically flavor their milk. And Krishna, on the other side, he was going to the houses of other gopis and other gopas to steal the butter. So Mother Yaśodā wanted to collect the milk from these special cows, make it into yogurt, and churn it into butter herself. And because when we love someone very deeply, we want to give them the best of everything naturally. So this is exactly what Mother Yaśodā desired for Krishna, that everything used for Krishna should be exceptional, including the food he eats should be exceptional. So, we see that Mother Yaśoda's love for Krishna is very deep and very unmatched. In the third verse only of this chapter, Sukdev Goswami already describes how Mother Yaśodā was perspiring for Krishna. Kshaumam vasah vruthukatisate bibrati sutranadham putra sneha snutakuchayugam jatakam pamcha subro rajva karshva shamabhuja chalat kundalo kankano kundale cha Svinnam Vakram Kabaravitmalan Malati Nirmamantha. Dressed in a saffron yellow sari with a belt tied around her full hips, Mother Yaśodā pulled the churning rope, laboring considerably, and her kankana, kundal, her bangles and her earrings, they were moving and vibrating and making beautiful sound, and her whole body was shaking. And because of her intense love for her child, Smutakuchayugam, her breasts were wet with milk, and her face, it was very beautiful eyebrows, and her face was wet with perspiration, Svinnam Vaktra. And Malti flowers from her hair, they were falling from her hair. And this is the way we have to labor hard for Krishna, that we start perspiring. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is not different from Krishna. He is personally cleaning the Gundicha temple. He is personally perspiring on his own. There is a verse that says, Charadike Shata Bhakta Sammarjani Kare Apani Shodhena Prabhu Shikhana Sabai. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila 12.84. He says hundreds of devotees, Shata Bhakta, they were already engaged in cleansing the Gundicha temple, but still Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Apani Shodhe, he personally started cleaning the Gundicha temple to instruct others, Shikhana Sabhaya. So, he wasn't standing at the door of temple making sure that not a single person escapes without serving while he himself remains the manager. No. Swayam, he was himself also with broom in his hand. He was also personally perspiring along all the devotees. So this lesson we should take from Mother Yaśodā Mata and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that being always absorbed in thoughts of Krishna, Mother Yaśodā, in spite of her opulent position, she perspired in serving Krishna without any reservation that I'm the queen. And Lord Ram also, he was very much happy to bless that squirrel, even though the squirrel was just taking little sand and putting in the water to help construct the bridge for Lord Ram. So Lord sees there also the sincerity of that little soul, and he sees nothing else. So Srila Prabhupada says that everyone should, according to their capacity, be engaged in some work. And what is the result of such devotion by Mother Yaśodā? When she was churning like this, as soon as Krishna hears her singing, he comes out and gives darshan. As soon as he wakes up, he comes out and gives darshan to Mother Yaśodā. So he is ready to take milk from Mother Yaśodā and please her with all the naughty activities. So Mother Yaśodā gives us two very vital lessons, that sing Krishna's glories while you are working hard for Krishna. Don't sing your own glories, but when you work for Krishna, sing Krishna's glories. And the other thing is, do persistent endeavor with steady determination. So for us, the persistent endeavor is to improve our quality of bhakti and bring change in our behavior and character. As we read Srimad Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam tells us how a bhakt, how a devotee has to be. So, and that is the tough job, it requires very steady determination, and it is the real struggle, and we have to do it. But the vision must be very clear in front of us, that why am I doing this service? Why am I sweating? I'm doing it for Krishna. I'm doing this for Krishna. So when this is clear, then work is never burden, because our relationship with Krishna is a fact, and we can't undo a fact. If something is a fact, there is no endeavor in it, then service is seamless, because endeavor is only bothersome if it is not joined with love. When something is not an endeavor and it is natural, then it is never bothersome. Even if you are perspiring, you are not tired. So when you are in love with something or someone, no matter how difficult it is to find it or to do it, you never feel the pain. So it's already 20 minutes past 7 o'clock. I also wanted to share a very beautiful point, that it was not just one devotee, Mother Yaśodā, who bound him, but it was three devotees actually who bound Krishna. But I think I will share that tomorrow. Tomorrow also our Bhagavatam class will be on Zoom. So in that class I will share how Mother Yaśodā, how Krishna was bound by three devotees, and then we'll also continue with verse 19. So with that we will pause our today's session. If anyone has any realizations or comments or questions or corrections, please unmute and share.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Tomorrow's Zoom class, will that be at 6:30 or 7:30, Mataji? Just to be clear for everyone.
What did we do last week, Prabhuji?
7:30.
Yes, will be 7:30, Prabhuji.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Tomorrow 7:30 on Zoom, we'll meet for our Bhagavatam class. All right.
And this evening, of course, the Diwali and Gordhan Puja festival at the temple. So please come, please bring your friends, associates, relatives, postman, milkman, grocery shopper, whatever you can bring. It'll be very wonderful. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much for last week I went to Garden City and to get the shoes, and I had the tilak, at the counter the girl was from India, and she saw my tilak and she asked me everything, where is the temple, blah blah blah, and I also told her that there is this Diwali festival happening there this Saturday, so you must come. So when Prabhu said that bring everyone, it just reminded me of that one. So I pray to Supreme Lord Damodar, Yaśodā Mai, and Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj to bestow their causeless mercy on on this poor soul to always get attracted and to be serious in this imperishable path of devotional service. Thank you all for joining and inspiring me to glorify Krishna. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam Mahapuran ki jai. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Have a blissful Krishna conscious day. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna, thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.